Hi everyone, I'm David Wojcik and this is MBOT TV. These top stories are brought to you by Nurse Next Door. MBOT stands up for Mississauga businesses and takes to the media to ask the province to return to Stage 3. The federal government is losing vital medications for Canadians by introducing new rules for prescription medication. Mississauga restaurants make a plea to reopen indoor dining with cold weather approaching, and Metalworks signs a deal to take their private career college international. Welcome to MBOT TV, a weekly recap of what happened in business at the Mississauga Board of Trade and around the city of Mississauga. Let's dive in. Mississauga restaurants, banquet halls, and hotels are at the end of their rope. On the heels of a multi-week shutdown earlier this year, they are now enduring a further 28 days of restricted business. We stopped by Alioli's, a popular city center restaurant, to get their perspective.
The patio helped us to have some business, but it's not enough to order to survive in the long run because of the COVID, and at the same time with the cold weather, it's not 100%, so it's not the same like having the inside open. At this moment, we're just doing 50 to 60% of the business we used to do in the past, and that's not enough for us to take advantage of any of the subsidies that the government gives us, because we have to be 70% down of business in order to get any advantage of the wage subsidy or rent subsidy. So we are losing in that department that we cannot survive in the long run.
Metalworks, a Mississauga iconic business in the music industry, has just inked a deal with Jamaican University to provide studio training to their burgeoning music sector. We sat down with President Craig McDonald for the details.
So UTech Jamaica, this polytechnic, has built this new program centered around a variety of majors within the entertainment sector. They tapped us because of our reputation in sound production and audio production to help them develop this. They have the curriculum, they have the mandate, and what they needed was the expertise to deliver this education. So the MOU that we signed that you spoke about is an agreement for the next 5 years to work together to try to see how we can help them, how they can help us, and how we can elevate and alleviate a lot of these issues in the entertainment industry.
Would you like to save money on your employee benefits? The Chamber Plan can help.
The Chamber's plan now offers employee benefit programs with greater selection, higher coverage levels, and more value than ever before. Take another look and see why we're the choice of more small businesses than any other plan in Canada. The Chamber's plan, it's for your benefit.
And now with lead stories from Mississauga, the region of Peel, the province, and Ottawa, is Brad Buck. Brad?
Well, thanks, David. The Mississauga Board of Trade issued a letter to Ontario Premier Doug Ford and the Mississauga MPPs urging him to reopen Mississauga businesses that were closed due to reverting Peel region to a modified Stage 2 COVID-19 phase. In the letter, MBOT points out that restaurants, bars, fitness centers, and other businesses have not been contributing factors to COVID-19 cases and have been unfairly targeted. MBOT calls on the Premier and the Mississauga MPPs to lift Stage 2 restrictions immediately after the 28-day period expires on November the 6th. In the meantime, Dr. Steiny Brown of the Ontario Health Table released modeling data that proves that these businesses account for a very small percentage of COVID-19 cases, and Peel's own medical officer of health stated prior to the Stage 2 change that Peel had no confirmed cases of COVID-19 traced back to restaurants, bars, or fitness centers. In the letter to Premier Ford, MBOT CEO David Wojcik stated, "The reality is that the new world means that businesses and the economy need to continue to operate in a COVID-19 world with appropriate safeguards and measures in place. Prolonged shutdowns will not solve this problem." While the federal government is yet to release table legislation in the House of Commons that will create the new commercial rent relief program and extend the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy Program. Rent was due again on November 1st, and many businesses simply can't make the payments. It is hoped the legislation will be introduced soon and quickly received the support of the House of Commons and the Senate. The Canadian Chamber of Commerce held its annual meeting on October 26 and 27, and MBOT was an active participant. MBOT sponsored 2 policy resolutions, one on modernizing the Scientific Research and Experimental Design Tax Credit Program, and on government support for refugees to get them into the workforce quickly, both of which were adopted. The Patented Medicines Pricing Review Board, or PMPRB as it's known, released its new set of guidelines on October 23rd. The final guidelines create a highly risky and uncertain pathway for commercializing new medicines and vaccines in Canada. The federal government is also exempting COVID vaccines and therapeutics from the new pricing regime, demonstrating that the federal government knows the new regulations are a regulatory barrier, despite their dozens of claims over the past 3 years to the contrary. MBOT remains very concerned about these new guidelines and its impact on research and development investments by Mississauga's large life sciences and biopharmaceutical companies. We will be urging the federal government to pause on these changes and re-engage with the industry stakeholders. Due to interventions by MBOT at Mississauga City Council on October 28th, a report is coming back November 11th to better coordinate the placement of tents at restaurant patios and have staff better work with businesses to facilitate a quick process. Ontario Finance Minister Rod Phillips will deliver a long-awaited budget on November the 5th, detailing the province's finances and continued support during COVID-19. It is not likely going to be a pretty picture, with a deficit that will be close to $40 billion. The bill to provide immunity against frivolous lawsuits from COVID-19 has almost passed through the provincial legislature. And once it's law, it is hoped that this will lead to lower insurance premiums for businesses hardest hit by COVID-19 and ensuring businesses can get access to insurance coverage going forward. Back to you, David.
Thanks, Brad. And now for our upcoming events with Stephanie Giorgio. Stephanie.
Thanks, David. And here's what's coming up at your Mississauga Board of Trade. On November 10th, we welcome Minister Fortier. Join us on a virtual webinar to hear more about the federal government programs to support businesses and have your questions answered. On November 11th, Good Morning Mississauga is virtual. Join us and connect with Mississauga businesses. Don't forget to book a speaker spot. Where else can you make 100 cold calls in just 2 minutes? On November 18th, join us for a virtual webinar on unleashing your company's growth potential. Linda Martin, founder of Level Up Global, provides an information session on how to uncover your company's growth potential. On November 19th, we welcome Minister Rickford. Join us as he shares his insights on restoring Ontario's energy advantage and hear more about the provincial government programs to support businesses. On November 24th, join us for a virtual webinar to ignite your inner worth and unlock your potential so you can start achieving the results you desire. Get ready to transform your life. Back to you, David.
Thanks, Stephanie. If you have questions about how to register for an event, increase awareness for your business, or have your company featured on MBOT TV, contact your membership services manager by calling 905-273-6151 and get connected. Details about these stories and events are available at www.mbot.com. Until next week, this is David Wojcik, wishing you continued success in your business.